All right, peace, Black family. So before I begin this video, hear me out in this video. Do not jump to conclusions. Hear me out, okay? Hear me out. Listen to the whole video. I am not a hater. Therefore, I believe giving props where props is due. And I would say this about the white race. They are the greatest musicians. Not musicians. Why am I mixing up musician and the person who do magic? Musicians. What's the... God dang, I can't even pronounce the word. Musicians, where they be like, pro, voila. Anyway, y'all know what I'm talking about. The people who do magic tricks. They are the greatest psychologists and sociologists in the world. Because only a group of people who have practiced this level of witchcraft and psychology and wizardry can historically and present day kill over 200 million people globally and still be considered the Danny Tanners of the world. Meaning the white dad from Full House. You see how we look at him and be like, oh, he's so innocent. He cleans up everything. And we still look at these group of people as if they are the most innocent people on the planet. As if when we need to get answers, they are the solution to our answers. When we can see how they starve East Indians in India, killed millions of them. Look this up. Killed millions of people in Kenya by starving them on Shark Island. We can see the devastation. They've killed millions of their own people. Stalin, Hitler, and etc. We could look at these things and point to them things historically and still to this day point to things that they've done or are doing to our communities. The drug epidemic in West Africa right now that's going on. In South Africa, where children are sniffing gunpowder and coke and all these things. Where do you think this is coming from? We can see what they did in the crack era. We can see that the last community they bombed openly was the Philadelphia, the MOVE community. We can look at these things and point to these things and still somehow see these people as the dad from Seventh Heaven. That's a hell of a goddamn magic trick if you're telling me something. That's a hell of a magic trick to pull on the people. When we watching the molestation in Africa and the Caribbean and even here in the United States, where they're adopting our black children and turning them into what they turning them into. We see how that's a magic trick if I ever seen one. It's right there in our face, but still we can't see it. We see these people as the saviors and then see ourselves somehow as the savages. As the people who deserve to be incarcerated. As the people these people came in and broke every law the Native Americans had. The idea of owning land and murder and things like that, like they broke every law. And then put their laws on top of the land. And said, now these are the laws that we're going to follow. This is a criminal government. This is a mob government. They go into Central and South America and take over the resources. They go into Africa and take over but we still see these people as somehow holy. The people we want to aspire to be, that we want to marry, and we want to live around. We see these people, the people who created the atom bomb, who at any given moment could hit the button and destroy one continent off the face of the earth. We see these people as the people that we want to emulate, that we want to be like, as the symbol of justice. That is a magic trick if I ever see one. They are the greatest musicians on the planet. The greatest psychologists on the planet. If you could pull off a hell of a trick like that. These people have killed and murdered and starved millions upon millions of people on the face of this earth. There are even ethnic groups who no longer exist on this planet because of them. There are no living Tasmanian people on the face of this earth, on the planet. They have poisoned whole systems of water. Then they're destroying the stratosphere and the ozone layer and all those things that we need to survive. And we look at these people as somehow the saviors of the planet, and we look at them as goals to reach to assimilate to. That's crazy. That is crazy. That's a magic trick. I'll even venture out to say that's witchcraft. Some can be right in front of you. And it's not even like you got to read these things anymore. They on YouTube, all over. They got documentaries all over just talking about it. Hey, look what's going on. Yeah, and it's still happening to this day. That's crazy. That's crazy. And I'm not saying this so you could go out to the world, because I know a lot of us as Africans, we so emotional. It's just so sad. They have turned us into emotional children. We don't know how to regulate ourselves. I'm not saying this for you to go out in the world and hate white people, and every time you get around white people, you get uncomfortable. When you know thyself, you can sit in a room full of white people and still be who you are truthfully. I'm going to tell you something, and hear me out. Hear me out, because I know a lot of people, we be on this super woke stuff. Hear me out. Please hear me out. I don't hate white people. I really don't. I hate what they have done to my people, but I don't hate them, because I recognize that hating is an emotion. And if someone can get you to hate them, by logically thinking about it, they can get you to love them. I don't hate white people. I love my people more than anything. I don't care to be around them. I don't want anything that they have. I want to build myself up and my people up. I love my people. I don't hate them. I don't care to. It is what I know who they are. Just because I know that snake is poisonous don't mean I hate that snake. Keep that snake in that cage. Keep that snake over there. I don't want to be around it. That don't mean I hate snakes. Some people may do. And then, but I guess once that person put that snake around your neck and you start massaging it, and you're like, oh, this snake ain't bad. And then you start researching what the snake does for the ecosystem, how it eats up rats and things like that. You might even find a fondness for the snake, a respect for the snake. But when I say no, a snake is a snake. Stay over there. And that's where I'm at. Don't mean I hate them. That's where I'm at with it. Because I don't need nobody swearing my opinions. I'll give you a story. Matter of fact, let me give you the story. I'm going to tell you a story. I had a homegirl of mine, right? And her son had just turned 11. And I don't remember how we got on the conversation. But she was like, and the thing, I was about to abort that boy. Because she was about to have an abortion with her son. Because the father ultimately had got, killed or whatever like that. And she was contemplating the idea of like, should she keep the baby or should she not keep the baby? And she said that when she was in the abortion clinic, the one woman that was having an abortion was there with another woman, and the woman actually had the child, had a baby, a baby that was walking like 2 or 3 in the waiting room, right? Had a baby in the waiting room. And so the baby walked over to her and like touched her lap or something like that. I don't remember how the story went exactly. Or maybe the baby smiled at her. I don't remember. But she said the baby in the waiting room made her look at the baby and be like, I can't do this. And made her leave and not have the abortion, right? When we interact with white people, and this is the part of the magic trick. When we interact with them, and we begin to be cool with them and do rap songs and do TikToks with them, we miss the idea that we under attack. Because of the proximity of being close to white people, we miss the idea that we are under a racial attack. So the fact that that baby was there and she was in the proximity of a baby, and that baby made her feel warm and made her realize maybe I could be a mother. Maybe I shouldn't have this abortion. She didn't have the abortion. She didn't have the abortion. Now, I said that she should or she shouldn't. I'm saying the idea that she was in proximity of that child. Take that analogy and use it in being in proximity to whiteness. When you are around their whiteness, when you are around them, you be like, not all white people. Because I had a white person adopt me when I was a child. And you just being racist. Because not all white people are like that. I had a white person give me rice one time when I was hungry. You just being racist. You miss the idea that we are under attack when you are in their proximity. I work with a whole bunch of white people. Now, sometimes this doesn't always work. Because some black people, they live around white people and they catch hell. Now, imagine if my homegirl would have went in the abortion clinic, and y'all know who she is, so I think she don't mind me telling the story. But imagine if she would have went in there and the baby would have been crying. When? She was like, oh, hell no. Hurry up and call me, please. Let me get up out of here and get this baby out of me. Right? Some people live around black people and catch hell. And they know how white people can be. They know. So it's a double-edged sword. Sometimes being close to them will make you a coon. It'll make you, the proximity will brainwash you, make you see things a different way. Sometimes being close to them will make you wake up and be like, man, these people don't bathe every day. They have scheduled showers. They wash themselves with soap. They don't even use rags. Like that would, but it doesn't always work that way. It doesn't. Some people got to go into it and see it for themselves, and some people just don't. Some people just like, yeah, nah, I already know what time it is. But I'm saying all that, these people have done some atrocities on the planet. And even the idea of a good white person is ludicrous to me, because what it does is it nullifies you. It dulls you down to the idea that your people, whether you feel it or not, whether you feel attacked or not, are under attack economically, through education, through entertainment, through labor, through law, through politics, religion, sex, war, and healthcare. When we talk about sex, we're talking about gender confusion, and we're talking about interracial dating. Okay? But when you are in proximity to them, you miss the fact that we are at war in all these areas. We talking about Kanye when he was talking about the small hat people, the people who got the little small hat. When he was saying like they have been putting music out here that's been destroying our communities and all these things. Like, this is an attack. You might not feel it. But you seeing it. If you looking in the right places, you seeing the attack. In Africa, there is no Wakanda, Negroes. And you know why there is no Wakanda? Because white supremacy cannot allow a black nation to have the weapons that they have, because that is how they subjugate you. First they do by sanctions. They block you off. Hey, no more trade for you, no more export, import. We blocking you off. If that don't work, now we pointing on nuclear weapons at you. And if you got nuclear weapons to Africa, if you got nuclear weapons to Black Americans or Caribbean people, that ain't gonna work for us. That is how racism, white supremacy works. That's why it ain't no Wakanda. That's why there ain't no African nations or African people that can compete with white people on a military level. Because it's a race war. Name one European country that said, hey, Ghana, y'all need some real weapons, not AK-47s and little scooters or whatever they're giving to the African countries. Not that. Y'all need some nukes. Y'all need something to shoot across the continent. We'll give y'all that. Not them little rocket launchers. Cuckoo. That ain't doing nothing. That's only affecting your brother in the next village. That ain't doing nothing. So what I'm trying to say is that's racism, white supremacy. We get all caught up in the idea, oh, they not supreme. They not supreme over me. And they don't. Be quiet. Be quiet. Shut up your mouth. Just be aggravating, man. Like the things we be saying just be aggravating. That is racism, white supremacy. Ain't no Wakanda. Yet. Because I'm betting on black. I always bet on black. Nonetheless, you know what I'm saying? With that being said, we got to understand, like, this is a war. And war is not about feelings. It's not about emotions. Matter of fact, let me give you, because Africans, we speak very, I don't know, like in metaphoric ways, right? I'm going to give you a perfect example. There's a movie called Saving Private Ryan, right? Saving Private Ryan. And this Jewish guy, he didn't want to kill the German. He didn't want to shoot the German and kill the German, right? And so he was like, no, we don't gotta do it. We could take him as a, POW, prisoner of war. We don't have to kill him, like let's take him with us. So he ended up taking the German, right, to with them and everything like that, right? And like they had his grave buried and everything. Like they was about to shoot him and dump him in the grave. It was the Jewish white guy if I can remember correctly, that saved them. How about the first time that the Americans were under attack? The German guy ended up getting the Jewish guy's knife and like stabbing him through the chest. And he was like, yo, but I saved your life. And the German guy was like, yo, this war is not about emotions. Your emotions got involved. This is war. This is about survival. And as we know, as Dr. Francis Cress Welsing said, this is about genetic survival for white people. This is why they out here screaming, the Jews will not replace us. And this is about genetic survival for them. This is what this is about. All right. Long story short, hopefully y'all learned something from this video. Share it, you know what I'm saying, with your folk. Because we got to stop being unapologetically African about where we stand at. No more fence riding, man. Like, we got to start critically looking at our situation. Look at my homeboy right there. He blew a 400-year head start. We got to start looking at our situation critically, man, as African people. Or, yeah. Anyway, so next time, think black, stay black, love black, support black, and that's real African black power.